Hello, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Very sleepy Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Still here in Boca Chica, Texas. Well, technically South Padre Island, Texas. But we are here to watch Rocket Lab. So we're watching a rocket launch from the other side of the Earth right now, out in New Zealand. And of course, anytime you have any questions about any upcoming launches and you want to know, where's it taking off? What's it doing? What are they, are they going to recover the booster, et cetera, you can always go to everydayastronaut.com and you can click on upcoming launches and read our pre-launch preview. So, of course, today's pre-launch preview is for Rocket Lab. Another one leaves the crust. Are they ever going to run out of brilliant names? That's the real question, honestly. I feel like the answer to that is no. It's no. Apparently, they're just too brilliant. So let's go through this here. The time to lift off is January 16th. Of course, that's today here for me. It wouldn't be January 16th though if you are in West Coast or like Hawaii or something. It's still the 15th, but January 16th at 7:44 UTC. So in 24 minutes from right now, as you can tell by our countdown clock. The mission name, Another One Leaves the Crust, a communication satellite for the OHB Group. The launch provider who is launching this is Rocket Lab. As you can tell by the thumbnail and by the title of the video, that's who's launching this. The customer who is paying for this is OHB Cosmos, an international launch service, GmbH for the OHB Group. The rocket for this is, as we mentioned, the Electron. That's the only rocket that Rocket Lab has. It's the only rocket that they've ever planned on having and have talked about publicly there has never been any hint or any knowledge of any other rockets. So the Electron is their bread and butter. Their idea is to kind of be the Uber for taxi, or for Uber for space, as opposed to, say, a bus, right? It's to give you a dedicated ride to your destination on a small sat launcher. You put your payload on there, and they're going to take you straight to where you're going. You don't have to wait for all these other customers to join on a bigger rocket or anything. They are your ride, and that is their market. So no plans on anything bigger from them, and that's fine. The launch location, this is coming from their the only launch pad they've still ever launched from, even though they have two others, one other completely online and another one right around the corner. But this one is Launch Complex 1A, the original, the OG from Māhia Peninsula in New Zealand. The payload mass for this, it's undisclosed, up to a maximum of, it can fly up to about 200 kilograms. But actually they can even increase the payload now with their new upper stage. They could actually launch about 300 kilograms. So that's a lot, actually. That's quite impressive, especially for a rocket of that size. Where are these satellites going? These are going to polar orbit. Will they be attempting to recover the first stage? No, but they will be attempting to recover the first stage of a future mission this year. So maybe we'll learn more about their recovery efforts. Don't forget, Rocket Lab is one of two orbital companies that has worked on, at least orbital commercial companies working on recovery. Of course, SpaceX has worked on it and is quite successful at recovering and reusing boosters. Rocket Lab, though, has recovered a booster before. They have not attempted to reuse it at this point, or even get to the point where they're fully recovering it, because they splashed it down on their first and totally successful recovery effort, and then the next step of that is to catch it before it touches the water with a helicopter. And that's the beauty of a small sat launcher. It's very small, and that is a very realistic goal, as opposed to a Falcon 9 or something that's just massive. It would be that's not attainable for a Falcon 9 or any rocket launch that big. Flo reminds me that 200 kilograms is because they're launching into polar orbit as opposed to just a standard low Earth orbit. So that does limit the amount of payload potential. So that's why we're saying it's up to 200 kilograms and not necessarily 300 kilograms or more, or up to 300 kilograms. So this first stage will crash down in the Pacific Ocean. And will they be attempting to recover the fairings? That is not a capability of the Electron. So they are brand new fairings. Weather, we don't have any updates on weather, but they're going for it. They've been tweeting that they're loading up locks and everything's going. So they're loading up RP1. So this will be the 18th Electron launch. It's all grown up now. This is the first Rocket Lab launch of the year, the second orbital launch attempt of 2021. So they're getting right on here nice and early. I mean, yeah, it is what the 16th. So they're kicking it up right away. So if you guys have any other questions about Rocket Lab or about this mission in particular in the OHB satellite group, go ahead and check out our pre-launch preview. That even includes pre-launch and launch events, and reminds you of how small the Electron rocket is and all that stuff. So everyone say thank you to Flo or Florian for writing this awesome article for us and getting us this pre-launch preview. So again, everydayastronaut.com, our new website, is absolutely banging. So check it out and enjoy. Hopefully it helps answer some of those questions that you guys have. Speaking of questions you guys have, let's go ahead and read through some of your guys' comments. So this is from Nano. Nano had mentioned earlier, sorry, I'm in the wrong tab here, that it's going to be a good time for people in India. But this is from Musical Wolves. As always, how do you actually get in here so early? I don't understand. I'm actually just thank you for always being here. But it says, good early morning from Yellowstone National Park. I don't know if it's fair to even say good morning. It's just supposed to, it's still nighttime. I made the mistake, or maybe brilliant, maybe mistake of trying to sneak a nap in, and man, it's yeah, that might catch up on me. But for now, I'm happy I did. That bed was necessary. So this one's from Philip Elgers. Says, let's see, it's 8:15 p.m. here. Belgium, an everyday astronaut again, up and running. Good morning. Wait, 8:15. 8:15 would be a.m. Belgium, but yes, absolutely. We're up and running. Sorry, it took us an extra minute sometimes with our system here, we have to swap over way more things than I'm ready for. So yeah, it's different than at home. It's a lot easier. In my normal studio, it's just OBS, and I go boop boop, and that's it. So, but here it's a little more involved, but it's more robust and capable of awesome live streams. Musical Wolves, which launches faster, New Shepard or Electron? As far as physical speed, Electron substantially faster. Orbital rockets go substantially faster than suborbital launches. So again, the New Shepard rocket hit, what was it, 3,000, or they had said in miles an hour, so it's 3,000 or 4,000 miles an hour. I think it was 3,300 or something. I don't quite recall its top speed, but it was around 3,000 miles an hour. Which would be about 5,000 kilometers an hour, and the Electron can actually, when it goes orbital, your minimum orbital velocity is about 17,500 miles an hour, about 28,000 kilometers an hour. So that helps you understand it's 5 or 6 times faster as far as velocity. Not sure in case you're asking which launch is faster, New Shepard or Electron, as far as turnaround time now. Who's going to launch again? I'm expecting to see New Shepard fly often. Blue Origin's New Shepard. I think this is going to be the year of New Shepard for Blue Origin. I think they're going to really be flying that thing almost monthly, and I expect the same or more from Electron. I expect Electron to be flying more than 12 times this year. I think they can do that this year. They flew a lot last year. They made great progress, and now that they're coming up on having 3 launch pads totally online and ready to go, I think they're just set up for a huge amount of success, and I think they're going to just be knocking it out of the park. So, yeah. Thank you very much from Injections, and thank you also from Connor L. Good morning from Florida. I share your sleep deprivation. It is that time. It is what most of us would say is bedtime. I can't stay up this late these days. I've been on a little bit earlier sleep schedule lately, which is probably realistically a good thing. Although last night we were out at the pad quite late here at Boca Chica, trying to sneak in a little Raptor peekage, because they're swapping out Raptors on serial number 9, which means I'm never going home ever again. So for me and the team here, it's been a couple late nights, but last night was gorgeous. Last night was really cool. We saw a coyote just wandering around the pad. It came out, kind of went over like this way, and then it crossed the road directly in front of us and just trotted literally 10 feet from us. It trotted 3 meters away from us. It was just like really, really, really close to us, and it was actually really cool. Like I said, there's something quite magical about being out there amongst nature and stuff. Nature, and then just giant prototype rockets. How can you not love it? This is from Psychotic Wolfie. Go Rocket Lab, yeet that rocket. Well, they are really good at yeeting rockets. That's definitely something that I expect to see today, is them yeeting a rocket with extreme ferocity and velocity. Ferocity and velocity. Usplund says, get a coffee. I'm sorry, I'm definitely not going to have a coffee at this hour. That would be. I've actually been trying to kind of cut back on coffee lately, with a fair degree of success too. And I think a coffee right now would be a very bad idea. I think that would mean no sleep at all. The Malleus says, just got to compliment the music. Love your tracks. Well, thank you very much, the Malleus. Yeah, for those of you that don't know or forget or whatever, friendly reminder, the music at the beginning and end of all the live streams, also any of the music that you ever see in any of my videos, is original. And you can find the music on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to music just by searching Everyday Astronaut, and you'll find it. If you enjoy it, if you want to chill and listen to some instrumental tracks, yeah. There will be more music coming, and that's a guarantee, because it's finally I had one more tweak for the sound engineer that's doing the masters, the final mix down of the masters. We just have one more tweak, and then hopefully when that comes back, I'll be able to publish it. So yeah. All right. This is from Lion Trouble for a cup of coffee. Again, thank you very much. Maybe if it was hot, hot coffee or something. Or what's it called? Hot chocolate. I do need to sleep. I'm sorry, guys. I can do this. This is from Hansa Khan says, good morning, Tim. It's 11 p.m. for me, but 1 a.m. in Boca Chica, I think. So we appreciate you for the early stream and dedication. Well, thank you very much, Hamza. Yeah, it's 1:30 in the morning. Normally this wouldn't be a very big deal. I think, my sleep schedule half the time ends up being where I'm up until 12:31. No big deal. But lately I've been on that early grind. So this is from Branson Stafford says, thank you, brother. I only have so much RAM in my brain, but you're fill it nicely. Thank you. I'm glad that you're making room to digest some rocket content, because in my life there's always room for some more. So always room. All right. This is from Zachary Russell. Saying, hey, Tim, here's a few bucks for you to stay down there in Texas. Thank you very much, because it is definitely an issue right now with all the scrubs. One question, what's the benefits of an Electron rocket compared to, say, a methane/liquid oxygen rocket? So the beauty of what Rocket Lab pursued was an easy path forward. Like, make a reliable vehicle, because it is not trivial to get a rocket into orbit. That is... it's really hard, and a lot of companies have failed just trying to get something into orbit. And one of the easiest paths forward for liquid fuels is to still use kerosene and liquid oxygen. And Peter Beck, I was talking to him about a little over a year ago on their launch pad in Wallace, Virginia, which was the coolest interview to date. Sorry to anyone else that I've interviewed. I've had some Fire Room 4. That's also maybe about the coolest place you could interview somebody, but sitting, feet dangling in the trench, the flame trench. So anyway, Peter Beck said that, I was asking him about, why not use hydrogen or methalox or any of the other things. And he said, if we don't have to deal with, he said dealing with one cryogenic fluid, so, propellant, so oxygen, liquid oxygen, is already a pain in the butt. Dealing with two, if we don't have to do it, I don't want to do it. So in other words, it's hard enough to keep liquid oxygen at the operating temperatures and to deal with it at the pad for the pad infrastructure. But it's another thing when you have to have two of those things. So of course, methane, to keep it liquid methane, has to be cryogenic, and has to be kept in the right operating temperatures. And hydrogen's even worse. Hydrogen has to be at like super cryogenic temperatures, really, really, really cold. I mean, scarily close to absolute zero. So, yeah, I feel like it's just a matter of the simplicity of it. And kerosene actually, it's RP1. It's exactly what the Falcon 9 uses. It's a very common rocket fuel for a reason, because it's darn good enough. We'll just put it that way. And obviously they've hit the metrics that they're aiming to hit with an easy path forward, which for them was kerosene, was Keralox, we might call it. Using the electric turbo pumps and 3D printed engines, which was allowed for a quick path forward to be able to get into orbit reliably and quickly. And then also for them, the other thing that they found out was their best path forward was using carbon fiber and carbon composites for the rockets. So even though it seems extremely hard, it seems like carbon fiber would be one of those things that'd be a big thing to bite off, because they were the first orbital rocket company to use entirely carbon composite rockets. They knocked that out of the park too. So it was just kind of a matter of how can we get this done, and our best path forward, best development path forward. So that's kind of why hopefully that helps answer the question and provide some context. Gabriel Taylor, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. This is from Deb. Thank you so much for the para character. I appreciate that, Deb. You're awesome. This is from Avia Skip. Says, hey, Tim, hope you're doing good, or hope you're going good. Thank you for all your amazing content. I always rely on you. Will you ever come back to New Zealand to see a launch 100% AV? I promise once the pandemic is over, that has been a goal of mine for a long time, is to see a launch down in the Māhia Peninsula from New Zealand, and I absolutely will. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. I mean, as soon as that's my goal by the end of the year, actually. I need to go back to Europe just to have some Europe time. I feel like that's been a thing that I had done for so long. It seems like once a year I go to Europe and just kind of do some exploring and kind of turn off and
I love looking at castles. So that's castles and small little quaint little villages. That's for some reason one of my getaways. But I really, really want to see New Zealand again. I was there 2.5 years ago, so I can't wait to get back there again. Anush Patel, send Tim some coffee, then send Tim to Mars, the studio, and planet. You're giving me everything there, Anush. Thank you very much for saying hi, Anush. And the Mars studio, Studio B, a South Texas studio. We'll see. We will see. I promise I'm working on it. And if something works out, then I promise it'll be a great solution for you guys and for me, because I need a good solution, because this is hotels are not fun for long term. And I've explained this to people many times. You know, people on Twitter are like, Tim, get down there, and it'll be like, just because there was the first like road closure, they'll be like, get down there, it's flying, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not flying until it's flying. And I thought I did pretty good this time, and then coming to find out now that 2 Raptors are being replaced on SN9, I have no idea how long I'm going to be here. So, yeah. This is from Lucas. Tim, you're a madman. Thanks for being you. Well, thank you very much, Lucas. I think I agree with your with your statement. Thank you very much. All right, this is from Anthony. Did you hear that SN9 may be delayed till early February? Anthony, of course, man. I'm on. Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, I feel like the best way to know for you guys when anything's coming up. We do have on our website, everydayastronaut.com. Here, go ahead and pull this up, Andrew. I'll show them where to find it. Right here, the featured post. When will SN9 launch? These are live updates that we give you the most up-to-date information possible. I added a new section today or yesterday. Today, I guess, technically, whatever. Time, dates, whatever. We did add a Tim's Take. So I added, with 2 Raptors being swapped, we're likely a week plus away from serial number 9's flight. So instead of a date, let's look for the next milestone, another static fire. That's my... So Ethan and the website crew, they are constantly kind of updating this with any relevant updates, right? So that you guys can know, they got a new Raptor in, whatever. It's just kind of this live page of, look at this. This is awesome. So live updates. But now, just even though we might have an official net date as far as looking at the TFR, the temporary flight restrictions, and the NOTAMs, the notice to airmen, we're really, although those are good gauges and we will always have that as kind of the official net date, I thought a Tim's Take might be necessary, because people still think that just because there's a NOTAM on Monday that they're going to try and fly on Monday. And I've just been seeing this stuff long enough to know that a TFR or a NOTAM is not gospel. It's a maybe. They apply for them just like you apply for. They apply for those like you apply makeup vigorously. I have no idea. They just apply for them and then they cancel them. Whatever. It's not a big. It does not mean they're flying. If they flew every time they had a TFR, I would never sleep, basically. So a TFR is a good milestone. It's a good, I'll say, placeholder, or a good idea of kind of their intentions. But their intentions and reality are not the same thing. So that's why we added that little Tim's Take on when I think it might fly. So maybe I'm a little bit jaded, but also I have been literally chasing every single Starship event since Starhopper. I was down here. I was the only person down here really, like as far as not locally, to stream Starhopper for a long time. And Jack Beyer came out, was shooting photos. But back in the day, there was a small amount of people trying to pursue Starhopper. So I've been through this program since literally day one. So I might be a little bit jaded. So, they are standing down today, guys. They are standing down today. Oh no. Let me get through you guys' comments really quick, and then I'm going right to bed. I am sorry. I'm going to rush through these here. PB, from Love from India, you created so much space hype here. That's awesome, PB. I still need to do my ISRO. I still really do need to do my ISRO thing. So, wait. Hold on. Did James predict the future? Wait a minute. This is spooky. James, in our Discord channel, James posted almost the exact. made a fake tweet when I sat down so that I would think that it got delayed, saying that we're standing down today from today's temps. Some sensor data is returning data that we're going to look into further. That was fake. And then Rocket Lab really said, we are standing down for today's mission to review sensor data. That's... I mean, that is kind of the given if there's ever a delay. We are standing down for today's mission to review sensor data. Fortunately, we have a 10-day window for this mission, so we have plenty of backup opportunities in the days to come. Stay tuned for a new launch date soon. Man, that is spooky. James the magician or James the fortune teller. Yeah, awesome, but yeah. I mean, not awesome for us. Looks like we'll be doing this again here in a couple nights, tomorrow night or next night. But better safe than sorry. Scrubs are cheaper than booms, of course. Craig Johnson says, seen Starship in your streams. Is it both fuel and LOX, and can that be captured? Wait, seen Starship in your streams. Is it both fuel and LOX, and can that be captured? Also, does it need to vent when outside of atmosphere or just at launch? Okay, so it does have both fuel and LOX. Yeah, there might be a missing word. Vent in your streams. Yeah, they vent both. They occasionally will vent both liquid methane and liquid oxygen when it boils off and becomes gaseous methane, gaseous oxygen, when it becomes too much pressure. Because, of course, as it boils off, you could literally boil it all off, but that increases the pressure inside the tanks because it's expanding. Exactly like water, when it turns into steam, it expands. So... They do need to vent it. When it is vented in that manner, it is not captured. Now, when they do a full recycle, they are able to pipe back in the liquid portions and then recapture that and repress it and recycle it back into the tanks. But yeah, as far as what you see vented out, that is too late because that is just quite literally vented into the atmosphere. And on ascent, there's certain conditions where they will be venting the rocket again to bleed pressure, and you can see that even on launch. You can sometimes see some of those vents still chugging along. So, good question. That's just to maintain proper pressure inside the rocket. Christopher says, "Hi Tim, from us here in Barrie, South Australia. Thank you. Also, so many people from all around the world watching. I really appreciate that, Christopher. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and change the title here so we don't get anyone coming in here disappointed." Saying scrubbed. That way we don't get people saying, "Hey, wait, you lied to me. We aren't watching nothing but this guy talking." Which is always true. Will Connolly watching this at 2 a.m. while building a rocket out of a clarinet. Woo science. Anyway, go Rocket Lab. Will, I hope you're posting that on Twitter somewhere, and I hope to see that because I am. And paint me intrigued because that sounds awesome. Wow. All right. Well, good luck with that, Will. Hopefully you can still play it afterwards. I don't know, or maybe not. I mean, I don't know what would be cooler, but that's awesome. Musical Wolves, white chocolate hot coffee, white chocolate hot chocolate, no coffee. Jeez, that was hard for me to read right now. I would do that in a heartbeat. That sounds phenomenal, actually, right now. Thank you very much, Musical Wolves. From Njerword Shuwarsi. So what crazy thing are you looking forward to from Rocket Lab this year? I'm looking forward to see Peter Beck eat his hat. I think he already has to because they've already quite literally recovered a rocket. So I think he's already hat-eating bound. But as far as what things I'm looking forward to, of course, I cannot wait to see a helicopter scooping a rocket out of the air. I think that's just going to be the craziest thing to see ever, honestly. So that's definitely what I'm looking most forward to this year from Rocket Lab, is seeing a helicopter grab a Rocket Lab Electron out of the air after it's been to space and back. That'll be the coolest thing. From Bastian says, "Good morning, Tim from the Netherlands." Well, thank you very much for saying hi. Sorry that we're not able to watch a launch today. Bob the Goat God, I told myself I wasn't going to watch this launch. Here I am. Orbital launches are addictive. Thank you for your coverage. Your videos are so mainstream. It's easy to get my friends and family involved in our interests. Hey, that's great, Bob. That really, yeah, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate compliment, is knowing that everyday people everyday astronaut, everyday people are watching this stuff and getting excited about it. That's what we're here to do, is just get people excited about the awesomeness of spaceflight. And again, I say this all the time, but a beacon of light, something to look forward to, something to be hopeful for, something to occasionally be a little bit disappointed in, but it's at least, these are mild setbacks, and then we get that ultimate reward when they do launch. That's kind of part of the whole thing. So, yeah, thank you very much, Bob. Thanks for sharing this with your friends and family, and I'm excited to keep covering this stuff because it is addictive, and it's, again, just plain awesome. This is from Cooper. Hey, Tim, what gear did you use as a photographer? I originally always shot on Canon. So my first camera, this is going to date me, was a Canon 20D, which was like early 2000s. I think it came out in probably like 2002 or something. There's the 10D was kind of their first like mainstream. They had before that, they switched the way it was. It was like the D10, not Nikon. Don't get it confused. But they had like a D something series first, in their EOS D series. And then they went to 10D, 20D, as far as like the prosumer line. So I had the 20D. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. It had a little screen about this big on the back. And then I went, I stayed with Canon for several years, went to Sony after that, started shooting Sony bodies through Canon glass, converting with Metabones adapters. I really liked that combination. I still think Sony sensors for photography are incredible. The 46 megapixel sensor that they came out with for the A7R2 is just honestly outstanding. I didn't need that kind of horsepower anymore, so I sold the A7R2. But I still am a big fan of Sony for photography. I actually really like mirrorless cameras. I like having electric viewfinders so that during the day you can still zoom in, quite literally like do the crop so you can check your focus manually. I think that's a huge asset. I loved in-body image stabilization as a photographer, so you could still use prime glasses or prime lenses, prime glass, and still have in-body image stabilization was awesome. So, yeah. Peter Beck tweeted. He said the inclometer was showing some strange data. It's not used for flight, but we want to understand it all the same. I don't even know what an inclometer is. Is that just showing the? You would think it's a measure of inclination, but that sounds important for spaceflight, and he says it's not important for spaceflight. Wow. Yeah, inclometer. Bad inclometer. Now we know. Now you know, and now you can't unknow. But yeah, Cooper, that's what I did. And then now, of course, now that we're shooting all video, it's all Z-cams on my end. Z-cams and some Blackmagic stuff, and tons of Blackmagic gear. But as far as cameras, I'm a little bit hooked on these Z-cams. They are awesome. So yeah, the Mighty Sir. I love this username. This is my favorite one to read on air. The Mighty Sir Woof Woof of Clan Mourn. Oh, it's Mourn. Clan Woof Mourn. I never realized there's an N. Look, it looks like it just needs sleep deprivation and I can read better. Says, woke up at 2 a.m. Eastern for this launch. My usual sleep schedule is waking up at 3 a.m. Oh, man. Looks like Tim needs a nap time. Yeah, Tim needs just full-blown bedtime. That's just a fact. Thank you very much. The Mighty Sir Wolf. Thank you, Sir Wolf. I love that name. Micah, aloha. Good morning, Tim, and soon to be good night. Thank you, Micah. David, thank you so much for the new membership. I appreciate that. DD says the Electron can lift 200 kilograms. Let's get a Kickstarter to put Tim in Leo. I think Peter Beck would have other words for that. He never wants to fly meat, he says, which would be any living animal. I'm curious what they'll do when someone has an experiment with like flies or something, and will he deny that? We'll see. To me, that sounds speciesist. If he's willing to fly some animals or creatures, but not you and me. I mean, come on, Peter, draw a line. Yeah, he has, and it's no meat, so we'll see. From Macho Taco, my preferred fuel type is premium Russian vodka. I mean, hey, that's not far from the. I mean, the vodka can basically be rocket fuel. It's definitely used to clean rockets, like quite literally. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I forget which rocket it was. I think the UR series rockets, the original Universal rockets, so now the Proton, started off at some point by being filled to the brim with vodka for some reason. I think it was to keep them from going bad or something. I don't quite remember, but Anush says in Discord, Tim and Leo, that's a first. That I admit to maybe wanting to go to Leo. I think my stance on spaceflight, my personal desire for spaceflight has changed a little bit. It has gone from no way to maybe suborbital. Like maybe I'd get on I'm now I would 90% do a suborbital hop. And I'm probably getting up to like 65%, 50%. I would do Leo. So yeah, it has changed. It has changed actually. Looks like I'm gaining more confidence. I guess that's a good thing. That's a good meter, I feel like, in spaceflight. Dave L., your music sounds like Rat-a-Tat and Tycho had an amazing baby, and I love it. Thank you for being awesome. Hey, that's a compliment. I love both those bands. That's wow. Yeah, thank you. I guess probably probably means that I wear my influences on my sleeve a little bit. But yeah, I do love both those bands. So thank you very much, Dave. That's a compliment to me. Kano says, towards you visiting Māhia Peninsula again. Thank you very much, Kano. I literally can't wait to do that. That will be awesome. That will be awesome. I just can't wait to travel again regularly and not feel like I'm, having to just drive in a car with like a spacesuit on and a biohazard suit trying to be safe. Elmar says, wow. I can't. I don't even know what that word is. Send Tim to Mars, Saturn, and Pluto fun, the ones in Texas. So you're saying I would have to have a Mars studio, maybe Pluto and Saturn, although Saturn would be the biggest part of it. Should be some part of the studio. We'll find out. We'll have to come up with some cool naming convention for everything in Studio B. Yeah. All right. Skylar Kerr says, adding to the Let Tim Sleep fund. Ironically, by your generous donation, you are not letting me sleep, actually. But I will accept that because, yeah, at this point, we I appreciate it because of the costs being continually occurred down here. So thank you very much, Skylar. Brian Wentz, I want to see the orange suit come out of retirement. Just don't nearly die. That is so funny. I went from haven't heard anyone say they want me back in the suit to, for some reason, the Astro Awards this year. That was like a third of the comments were, hey, will you put the suit back on? Like, I never once mentioned the spacesuit. I have no idea where that came from. And it was like everybody all of a sudden was like, hey, remember when Tim used to wear a suit? Let's make him do that again. I'm not putting it back on. I will have it in Studio A permanently as a mannequin in the near future. So you will see it again. I will not be wearing it again. The only thing I could ever think of that would maybe get me back in the suit would be some charitable event. Other than that, I'm not going to do it for any like milestone, because milestones these days I want to just watch and enjoy and not be sweating to death. So, oh man. So Peter answered what an inclinator is, or whatever it was, for measuring inclination, as you mentioned. Yes, it sits on the engines as a calibration reference to the TVC position. So it sits on the engines as a calibration reference to where the actual engine is pointing. So the TVC is thrust vector control. That's the things that steer and gimbal the engines. You might hear the word gimbal, and that allows the rocket to steer and guide itself into orbit. So it's used for measuring the inclination of the rocket engines, but it's just used as calibration. So maybe that's just seems pretty important. It does seem pretty important, but maybe they don't need it in flight. Maybe they just calibrate it on the pad. Once it's calibrated, as he mentions the word calibration, maybe it is just simply a calibration period. This is from Brady Judge. Hi, Tim. Any plan on hosting live watch events once things get back to normal for us? Local Iowa space fans. I don't know if I'd be hosting live in Iowa. It's really hard to produce live outside of a permanent setup. It just really, really, really is. The studio here takes us about 3 days to set up and get operational. So I would like to avoid a 3-day setup and everything and doing a live host. But someday I really do want to do live events, but it'll probably be more of a permanent venue type of thing. That is definitely a goal of mine someday. But as far as doing that in Iowa, I'd rather just have a good meetup where we can all hang out and talk, and we could do a Patreon meetup and maybe a public one in the Midwest too. So, absolutely. I cannot wait. I feel like I'm hopeful that by the summer there should be some legitimate progress where some of our lives can return back to normal, especially once the bulk of us have been vaccinated. Especially once the most at-risk people are vaccinated. I think that'll already see results in lowering the strain on our healthcare system. And once once the hospitals aren't overwhelmed and literally having to have, I have a lot of friends that work in hospitals and work in healthcare. Hearing from them directly about how it affects their lives, it's still a huge deal. But of course, if you can take the population that's at the greatest risk to go to the hospital and get them vaccinated first, that should ease the system and should ease a lot of stuff, and then continue on. And then we can all get back to our normal lives, and it'll be fantastic. We all want that. Absolutely. DD says, thanks for your content. What was the most surprising thing you learned working on our Russian engines? Cheers from New Zealand. For the Russian engines, oh man, the most surprising thing. There's been a ton. I can't even tell you. I think maybe the most surprising thing was realizing that they had already solved close. For some reason, I always thought that it seems like public knowledge is almost that the Soviet Union figured out how to do oxygen-rich staged combustion cycle or closed cycle oxygen-rich engines for the N1 moon rocket. They developed this never-before-used rocket engine. Originally the NK-15, and then they were going into the NK-33 before the program got canceled. But the NK-15 was like the first closed-cycle engine. Not even close. They were already developing a closed-cycle engine in the 50s. Already working and solving. They'd solved closed-cycle engines in the 50s. It flew already on... Oh, I already forget the first. It was actually a Soyuz or an R7 rocket. It was, I think, one of the first missions to the moon, or was it Yuri's? Already had the. Oh man, I need to pull up my charts here. But it was absolutely insane how early on they had solved and let me see. I'm just gonna look for it because now I need to know. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I could probably pull this up here quick so you guys can get a sense of what I'm looking at, because it's plain bonkers. Give me just 1 second here to organize my screens so you guys can see this, and I will show you kind of why this is bonkers and why I'm so appreciative now of Soviet rocket engines, former Soviet rocket engines, of course, and current day Russia and Ukraine and all of those places. Let me see if I can manage to do computer things. What is going? No. What? I'm so confused. Hang on. I don't remember how to computer right now. This is terrible. There. Okay, so check this out. This is the family tree that I've been working on for Soviet rocket engines. And so this is kind of the gap here. The A4 was the rocket engine that came from the V2 missile that Nazi Germany had been working on. Of course, the Soviet Union took a large number of former Nazi scientists to work on their engines, but they already had the RD-1 well in advance. And ironically, actually, they didn't end up using almost any of the actual architecture from the A4. They kind of stuck with their RD lineage. And by already their third rocket, or by the third engine that was kind of in-house, not really third, I can't say third at all, because literally there's like hundreds of little iterations in between. But they already had developed the ED-140, which was no, that wasn't the closed cycle. Where's the closed cycle? I make it so they're closed when they have a little loop. There we go. The S-15400, which was already flying in the R7 variant. And it flew, I believe, already before 1960 or like in 1960. So they had solved closed cycle engines very, very, very early on. You can tell by the chart that is by the border. This is still just kind of a work in progress, but that was the first closed cycle engine that flew. And for the most part, this is linear in time. So it's insane. Yeah. So I can't wait to show you guys what I've learned. So there's your little sneak peek. I hope you enjoy it. There's going to be a lot more of it when we get to that video. All right. So Britton Bowen, do you think Rocket Lab and SpaceX will have future partnerships with hardware, missions, payloads, Electron on a Falcon? Not Electron on a Falcon. Electron is simply a launch vehicle. It makes no sense to put a sea level optimized rocket up into a payload fairing of another rocket. It doesn't make sense. But there absolutely could be a day where we see Rocket Lab hardware inside of a payload bay for, say, a Falcon 9 or a Falcon Heavy or something, because especially now that Rocket Lab is working so hard on kind of being a parts catalog. So they're making the Photon, which is a satellite bus that could easily fly on a Falcon 9. They're making standalone hardware that people can buy. They can buy star trackers, they can buy thrusters, they can buy communications, comms, or navigation or whatever from basically a parts catalog from Rocket Lab. And a lot of that hardware could end up on missions all over the place and flying with SpaceX and stuff, which is really cool. So yeah, I think that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. So Michael, thank you for the tip. Paul, hey Tim, sleep is overrated. Hope to see SN9 fly soon so you can go home. If you are in Kiwi Land, come to Oz. I think that would be awesome. I think I'd do like a week in New Zealand, a week in Australia. That sounds awesome to me. Absolutely. Hackman P, as a Brazilian, coffee is life. Drink it. Good morning from the UK. Love the live streams. Thank you so much, Hackman. Flo, come on, get out of here. Come on, just admit it. You do want to go to Mars. I'll be there too. Nope. Come on, Flo. You don't need a tip. Thank you. Flo manages the web crew and helps so much with the website. I don't know why you're tipping me, Florian, but thank you very much. This is from ZBasin20. Tim fell in love with rockets, needing a hobby and time eater during chemo. Oh, wow. So happy I found your channel. Currently on immunotherapy, and your videos and launches bring me a lot of joy, dude. Thank you. Wow. ZBasin, keep us up to date. Just keep kicking butt. Seriously, kick butt for all of us spaceflight fans, and we'll be here to cheer you on too. Everyone in chat, tell ZBasin to just fight for us and do good. We're all cheering for you, and we're all glad that you're doing this for us. So yeah, stay tuned. There is of course a lot to look forward to, and a lot of really exciting spaceflight events. That we can all be looking forward to, especially this year and next year. I'm actually really looking forward, believe it or not. Not believe it or not. You guys know that, of course, I'm Team Space, so I'm excited about really just about any progress. And, of course, some of the biggest progress we're ever going to see for SLS in the past decade will be its test fire tomorrow. So we will be posting that live stream tomorrow. I'm actually quite excited to see that thing fire, because it's going to be firing and doing a test fire for 8 minutes. I think that's cool. So at least it's a good big milestone and progress. So I think we should be celebrating that. So again, ZBasin, I'm glad that we're giving you something to look forward to and helping you just kind of stay entertained and hopefully educated as well. So cheers. Connor L, time for sleep, 100%. 100%. We're working on it. Film Crew Tech, it's pronounced Notum. Yes, I know this, but for some reason that just sounds weird to me. Is that true? Have you heard it pronounced Notum?
That's lame.
it just feels wrong. I mean,
I think it's right, but it's lame.
I know it is. I've heard pilots tell me that it's Notums. Yeah, I got that Notum. It just sounds weird to me. Just like when people say GIF. I don't know. I'll probably keep saying Notum. Or wait, now I'm confused. Notam. I don't know. I'll flip back and forth. However, Musical Wolves again, pointy end up, flamey end down, mission patch. Speaking of mission patches, Discord, you guys are really going to like what's coming out very, very, very soon. We are finally working on our Patreon patches. We're working on some new patches, but I don't know about a pointy end up, flamey end down. That would be pretty fun, though. Brendel, hi, Tim. Thanks for your videos. How did you learn so much about rockets? I have no idea, honestly. Just YouTube videos, reading a bunch, too much. Kerbal Space Program literally has taught me an insane amount about rockets. Flow, of course. We have that. Of course. We're working on that. Let's see. So, yeah, I mean, online, that's the cool thing is you can learn whatever you want. About 5 years ago, I knew nothing about any of this stuff. So, if I'm not saying by any means I'm any know-all, be-all about rockets at all. I'm not even close to what actual rocket scientists and engineers know about these things. But I do know a decent amount about a lot of things, which is maybe I'm dangerous enough to be, I'm stupid enough to be dangerous or whatever, however you want to say it. But the point is that everyday people can learn this stuff and can get excited about it. You don't have to be in the field to be excited and at least be somewhat informed so you know why you're excited and not just having to be like, yay, shiny thing with flames or whatever. It is exciting stuff and it is intimidating at first, but once you get enough, once you have a big enough knowledge pool to kind of understand a little bit of the workings, it's extremely exciting. So yeah. Staff. I like that name. Hey, Tim, random question. Do you like vaporware? I don't think I like vaporware. Oh, vaporwave. I read that as vaporware. I was like, no, I don't like vaporware. What's vaporwave? Do I like vaporwave? Like music? Yeah. A little bit, I think. I don't know if I'm genre specific enough to realize exactly what vaporwave is, but I like it probably better than vaporware. I can tell you that. I definitely I kind of like lo-fi electronic music and stuff too. So I think that's kind of getting close to vaporwave, but yeah. And I like really atmospheric chill stuff, which I think again is kind of vaporwave, but I don't know. I don't think I have my wires crossed enough to know, especially right now, what that even really is. But thanks, Steph. Dak X says, thanks for camping out at Boca for us. You definitely are a celebrity around the Cape. Well, thank you, Dak. I'm maybe finding out that I'm to a small niche group of people. It is funny sometimes how that stuff happens in weird places now. Like down here, you kind of run into people when you're at the pad, obviously, when there's 10 people out there, it is weird to be like, hey, I know you. And I'll be like, oh, that's awesome. It's still very strange. But Gethin, thank you so much. And Dak, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Ghostwriter, go to bed. You guys know the irony of telling me to go to bed while putting it in a super chat. But thank you very much, Ryan. I really appreciate that. Ian Coulter, hey, Tim, we appreciate all your hard work and dedication to bringing space down to earth for everyday people. Thank you very much, Ian. It is what I love to do. Rubik's fan at don't you love a good morning rocket launch? Greetings from almost 9 a.m. in Germany. Have a good rest later. I will get there. I'm very close. I'm very close to finishing up all your super chats. I don't know why there's still 1,700 people, 1,800 people. Guys, this is a scrubbed launch. I'm just trying to get through your comments and then go to bed. But thank you. I obviously really appreciate it. You guys are too much. Chad Oman donating to the Send Him to Bed Fund. This is getting ridiculous. Sayquist, what do you think about a Super Dragon capsule with integrated second stage for super heavy, 15 persons? Well, that's basically what integrated second. I mean, that's basically what Starship will be. Will be integrated Dragon onto a super stage, the second stage of Starship, right? That's basically what Starship is a upper stage / crew capsule. So I think that's pretty much what it is. I still do actually agree that maybe there should be a variant someday that still has a traditional capsule as an abort system, like literally make it a staged Falcon 9 somehow that can break away from the top, has, some extra thermal protection on the one side of it. That would be the belly side, one monitor on the very nose, but still be able to break away and have an abort system and have traditional parachutes in the unlikely event of an emergency. I still think that'd be a good idea, at least for early prototypes. So, yeah. Jeremy Hartman says, dang it, I guess Tim is not going to Venus today. This goes to the fine for the next. This goes for the fine for the next launch attempt. Well, thank you very much, Jeremy. Hopefully, I assume with Rocket Lab, they'll probably be right back at it tomorrow night again. So, yeah. Leo the Human, you said in OLF that it's time to put humans on Blue Origin's New Shepard. Would you be comfortable hopping on its first crewed flight if it's offered? Nope. I will gladly admit you're talking to a guy that I used to race motorcycles and cars and used to be a daredevil and do all this stuff. Those days are over. I want to. I don't know. I guess my own mortality has become more of a thing. I'm almost 36. I forget how old I actually am. I'm almost 36. I keep thinking more about like the limited time and scope that I have here on this earth, and I'll ride on something. I'll ride on something when it's safe to do so. But really, I don't really have any desire to like push the boundaries or be the first to do any of those things. And the people that are willing to do that should take credit for that. Should be taking credit for being, test pilots. And that's just not me. That's not me. And I'll admit that gladly. This is from Maddie Cran Educational Videos for Kids. Love your videos and dedication. Got any fun ideas for teaching or introducing rockets in space to kids? Can't wait to get back to the U.S. when we can travel more to do some space stuff for kids. That's awesome, Maddie. I would say, honestly, for kids especially, just teaching the simple vocabulary, and this is something that I probably need to get back onto some days, like a glossary, a simple glossary of all the terms that you might hear in spaceflight, like even defining, a rocket or a launch vehicle versus a capsule or a spacecraft and all those things. Kids like that. And I like that. Humans like that, just period. But especially, when you're trying to introduce some of these topics, if you're trying to learn and you don't even know where to start, it's really hard to start. So if someone is telling you about the spacecraft and you're like, well, which part is the actual spacecraft? It's hard to start when you don't know where to start, right? So I would say defining terms is a good place to start, and then just showing them awesome footage and awesome rockets and get them excited about the bleeding edge that they ride on. Renau, good evening, Tim. How much delay do you think the Raptor swap will cost you on number 9? Renau, man, I have no idea. I debate this every 5 minutes in between. Hey, who knows? Maybe they'll get them installed tonight and they'll static fire Monday and the thing will fly Tuesday. I think that's extremely unlikely. Like 99% that won't happen. Like that's 1% to me. Another part of me, but then there's always like, but what about that 1%? Another part of me is like, maybe by the end of the week. And then another part of me is like, this will be 3-week delay. I have no idea. So we'll just have to wait until we see some signs of a static fire and a static fire before we have any idea, really. So this is from no username saying, donate to send Tim to bed, but not really fun. Oh, you guys are awesome. James Stockton, welcome to Night Shift. Get some sleep. Thank you. I will in just a minute here. Leo the Human, well, the fact that you're not ready to hop onto it means it's not ready for what Blue Origin is designing for, doesn't it? Well, it isn't, because no one has flown on it. They aren't to that point. So you're right. But I would have expected by now that they could have. It seems like they have all the systems operational. I'm just surprised that they haven't put people on there yet. So, and lastly, from Leonard, hi, Tim. Love your videos. And Elon inspired and motivated me to come top of my senior class. Hopefully, I get to work for Elon one day. That's awesome, Leonard. Congrats on being top of your senior class. Proud of you. That's awesome. We need people that are willing to work hard and get as much education as they can to kick butt out there and get humans deeper into space and exploring more than ever before. So, yeah, that's awesome, Leonard. All right, everybody. I'm going to call it a night so that we can bring you the static fire of SLS tomorrow, the green run tomorrow. And I think that's about 4:30 my time. So in about 14 hours from now or so, we will post that stream tomorrow and get it up for you guys. And then hopefully we get to catch the Rocket Lab launch. I don't know if it'll probably be a similar time as it was tonight's attempt, and hopefully it's tomorrow or the next day. So stay tuned. We will we'll see you guys here in a little bit, but I'm going to go to bed because it's quite obviously necessary. So, all right, everybody, that's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Goodbye, everybody.